Did you know Canada has just broken an emigration record? For decades, this country has been imagined as the dream destination, a place people across the world hope to reach for safety, stability, and opportunity. Families believed Canada would provide secure futures, students saw it as a launchpad for their careers, and workers thought it promised stability for life. But today, the story is shifting. Thousands of Canadians themselves are now making the opposite choice. They are not simply traveling or studying abroad, but uprooting their lives, selling homes, resigning from jobs, and booking one-way flights to begin again elsewhere. And nearly half of those leaving come from just a single province. That detail alone shows this is more than random movement. It is a powerful signal that something deeper is driving people away. So what could possibly push citizens to walk away from one of the safest and most respected nations on Earth? In this video, we are breaking down 10 reasons why Canadians are leaving their country in record numbers. From soaring housing costs, to the rising price of daily life, from wages that no longer keep up, to the search for balance and happiness. Stay with me until the end, because the final reason goes far beyond economics and asks a bigger question about what it really means to live well in the 21st century. And before we dive into reason number 1, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the stories that reveal what is really shaping our world. Reason number 1 is the rising cost of living. Across Canada, groceries, gas, and utilities have climbed steadily year after year. A grocery basket that once cost $40 now costs $60 or $70. Filling up the car feels like adding another bill to the household. Heating a home through Canada's long winters leaves families choosing between comfort and cutting back elsewhere. This squeeze is exhausting. When hard-working families still struggle to cover essentials, the promise of opportunity begins to fade. Abroad, the math looks very different. In Portugal or Spain, pensions stretch further and meals are more affordable. In Mexico or Thailand, incomes cover both necessities and small luxuries. Dining out is inexpensive, utilities are manageable, and transportation is lighter on the wallet. For many Canadians, the numbers speak louder than loyalty. Why keep grinding at home when life can feel easier somewhere else? And that brings us to reason number 2, the housing crisis. Reason number 2 is the housing crisis. In cities like Toronto and Vancouver, the average detached home now sells for over $1 million. These are not mansions, they are ordinary family houses that once felt within reach. For young Canadians, ownership has become nearly impossible. Even with 2 steady incomes, saving for a down payment feels like climbing a mountain with no end in sight. Renting does not offer relief. A 1-bedroom apartment can swallow more than half of an average salary, leaving little left for savings. Families live under constant stress, never sure if the next rent hike will push them out. Abroad, the picture looks very different. In parts of Europe, Central America, or even US states, homes can cost half or even a third of Canadian prices. Some Canadians discover they can buy outright, with no mortgage at all. A house is more than walls and a roof. It represents stability, dignity, and a future for the next generation. When that foundation disappears at home, people begin to look outward for a place to rebuild. And that takes us to reason number 3, stagnant wages against rising inflation. Reason number 3, stagnant wages against rising inflation. Across Canada, many professions are under strain. Teachers, nurses, engineers, and even tech workers compare their earnings with peers abroad and feel shortchanged. In the United States, a nurse can earn nearly double. Engineers see better pay in Europe or Dubai. Tech professionals look south to Silicon Valley and watch careers advance much faster. It's not just about the money, it's about dignity and recognition. When hard work is not rewarded fairly, frustration grows. Meanwhile, the cost of living in Canada keeps rising. This double hit, higher expenses and flat income, is impossible to ignore. Abroad, that gap often closes. Earnings feel more proportional to effort. For many Canadians, leaving is not about chasing wealth, it is about seeking fairness. But even fairness feels empty if healthcare itself becomes uncertain. Reason number 4, healthcare pressures. Canada's system is admired worldwide, but cracks are showing. Wait times for specialists can stretch months, even years. Emergency rooms are overcrowded, with patients waiting for hours. Doctors and nurses are overworked, and rural areas face dangerous shortages. For many, healthcare feels less like a guarantee and more like a gamble. Abroad, some discover systems with shorter wait times. Others find private care at costs far lower than expected. Retirees especially compare experiences and ask why they should stay. Healthcare is deeply personal. When your health or that of a loved one is at risk, decisions are made quickly. And for many Canadians, that choice is to leave. But healthcare isn't the only weight, taxes too push people abroad. Reason number 5, Canada's tax burden. The system is meant to fund generous public services, but in practice, many families feel squeezed between deductions and rising costs. The middle class feels trapped. Not wealthy enough to absorb the loss, not poor enough for major support. Business owners compare take-home pay abroad and see how much they give up here. In Dubai, there is no income tax. Even within North America, some US states offer far lower rates. Freedom to invest, to travel, to build. When taxes feel like chains, people look for lighter options elsewhere. And so, from finances, we turn to climate. Reason number 6, Canada's harsh climate and long winters. Canada is famous for its snowy landscapes, but beauty often comes with hardship. Dark mornings, icy roads, and endless snowstorms take a toll year after year. Months of freezing temperatures wear people down physically and mentally. Seasonal depression is common, and heating bills skyrocket. Abroad, warmth becomes daily life. In Mexico, Costa Rica, or Southern Europe, sunshine is the norm. People spend more time outdoors, energy improves, and health benefits follow. Canada's climate shapes its identity, but for many, the cost of cold is too high. They choose light, warmth, and relief elsewhere. And that decision often connects to new careers, which brings us to reason number 7. Reason number 7, job opportunities abroad. Canadians are among the most educated workforces in the world, but at home many feel stuck. Promotions can take years, and pay raises often fail to keep up with inflation. Abroad, opportunities can feel limitless. A nurse in Ontario might earn $70,000 a year, but in Texas or California, the same role can pay $120,000. An engineer in Vancouver may struggle with long contracts, while in Dubai or Singapore, companies actively recruit with better pay and benefits. Tech workers compare Toronto with Silicon Valley and see colleagues advancing twice as fast. Entrepreneurs also feel the pull. In Ireland, Eastern Europe, or Southeast Asia, they find lower taxes and faster growth for startups. And remote work has changed the game completely. Today, a Canadian can keep clients in North America while living anywhere with stable internet. This freedom removes barriers and makes relocation easier than ever before. Work is not just about money, it is about purpose, recognition, and possibility. When those feel capped at home, people start looking outward. And once they see the difference abroad, the decision becomes clear. From careers, we now shift to lifestyle, which is reason number 8. Reason number 8, lifestyle and quality of life abroad. For many, leaving Canada is not about escaping, but about gaining something better. Picture a morning in Toronto, long commutes, packed subways, hours of traffic. Now picture a morning in Valencia, Spain, walking to a CAF, sipping coffee slowly before a shorter workday. Lifestyle differences shape happiness more than we realize. In Canada, dining out feels expensive. Abroad, a family can enjoy fresh meals at local restaurants several times a week without breaking the budget. Vacations also change. From Spain, Paris is a short train ride away. From Thailand, beaches and islands are only hours from the city. Quality of life is about balance between work, family, and joy. When Canadians experience that balance abroad, staying home feels less appealing. And lifestyle is powerful, but family ties are just as strong. Which brings us to reason number 9. Reason number 9, cultural and family ties overseas. Canada is a nation built by immigrants, and those roots run deep. Many families still hold close connections to their original homelands. For some, moving abroad is not leaving, it is going home. A Filipino nurse may return to Manila to care for parents. An Italian-Canadian family may move back to southern villages to raise children near grandparents. Even younger generations, born in Canada, often seek to reconnect with heritage and culture. Language, traditions, and belonging all carry emotional weight. When family and culture pull strongly, economics becomes only part of the decision. And when added to high costs and stress at home, ties of love and identity often win. This brings us to the final reason, number 10. Reason number 10, the search for happiness and meaning. At the heart of every decision to leave is the desire to live fully. Canada offers safety, order, and stability. But many ask, is that enough? For some, stress outweighs joy and the grind overshadows freedom. They want mornings that feel alive, not rushed. Evenings with family, not late hours at the office. Weekends that restore them, not weekends lost to errands and fatigue. Abroad, people find slower living in Europe, sunshine in Latin America, and balance in Asia. These are not luxuries, they are essentials for a meaningful life. Leaving Canada is not rejection. It is a step toward authenticity and toward a life that feels complete. And so, from costs to housing, wages to healthcare, and from lifestyle to family, the story becomes clear. Which brings us to the conclusion. Canada is a land of promise, but also of departures. High costs, unaffordable housing, stagnant wages, healthcare struggles, heavy taxes, long winters, global job opportunities, lifestyle differences, family TIs, and the pursuit of happiness. Together, these 10 reasons explain why so many are making the difficult choice to leave. But this is more than a Canadian story, it is a global one. It is about people everywhere, searching for lives that align with their values. It is about courage, sacrifice, and the belief that something better is possible. So let me ask you, if you had the chance to move anywhere in the world, where would you go? Tell us in the comments below and join the conversation. And if you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to subscribe. We share stories that uncover the forces shaping our world, so you never miss what comes next.